Welcome to Mindless Entertainment. I'm your host, Jesse Milestone, and this is meant to offend. So if you're offended, good. Today, I really want to just talk very directly and specifically about freedom of speech. Guys, it's our First Amendment. Without it, we have no ability to protect the rest of our rights. It's kind of important, and it's kind of being taken away from us by a lot of different people. In fact, one of the biggest problems right now is that the left, the medial moderate left, is too afraid to nut up and take a stand against right-wing extremists who are shutting down pretty much any dissent against the president or Republican Party, and super leftist people who are like, no, we're redefining how you can say things. So, like, for example, CNN canceled the show Believer. They canceled the show Believer, which was a great show about little religions all over the world, and this guy, Reza Aslam, was the host. A Muslim host, mind you, who was going around exploring all these different religions. Wow, what a temporal show. What a thing that we needed today. Why did they cancel it, you ask? Because Reza went on Twitter after Trump handled the London attacks horribly and insensitively, and basically said that, using, colorful language and expletives. He then backpedaled and apologized. He said, look, I lost my head, it's not me, whatever. He didn't do anything insane. He didn't pull any Kathy Griffin, president's head, whatever kind of thing. Nothing obscene, absurd, or in violation of any laws or sense of decency. And he apologized. And CNN was still like, nope, axing the show. God forbid anyone should speak ill of our president, even though we're a network that purportedly doesn't even support him. So, great. Good on you guys. Really taking a stand there, and just shutting down any dissent, on El Presidento. Similarly, a radio DJ on a Pennsylvania news station just last week resigned because he was asked not to speak ill of the president on air. Guys, being able to criticize our president is part of what makes us a free democracy. We need that ability. If we don't, we're just one step away from Kim Jong-un, where, oh, God forbid you should speak ill of him. No, you must sit around the table and sing his praises before we can get down to business. What does that sound like? Oh, that's right, Donald Trump's cabinet meeting. Open your fucking eyes, people. What's happening is scary. This dissolution into authoritarianism is happening a lot faster than it really should, and we're all just sleeping through it. We're all just like, yep, seems fine, do-do-do. Did you know that at the press conferences of the White House now, the reporters are not allowed to tape anything, and at one press conference, they were not allowed to record anything either. Now, what happens with that? Oh, but they were still allowed to attend. Yes, and when they write things down and Donald Trump says, I never said that, they wrote it wrong, they're misquoting me, fake news, and now because there's no actual hard evidence to back up what these reporters are saying, it's just even easier for so many Americans to just eat up all that bullshit and buy into whatever their great Lord and Master says. This is how authoritarian regimes start, people. It's all over history. Look it up. The parallels are endless. Oh, and on the flip side of this whole spectrum, in a plot twist, it's the left-wingers who've done the most damage in this regard by telling you there's just things you can't say anymore. There's things you can't talk about. You can't express yourself this way. You can't express yourself that way. In fact, you should probably check in with everybody that might be in hearing radius before you start talking about anything to make sure it's not going to offend them. Yes, they've taken away they try to take away bits of language and replace them with these different words for certain behaviors, these euphemisms that make horrible things sound a little bit nicer. What does that remind me of? Newspeak from 1984, because that's the world we all want to live in. But it's happening. It's happening right before our eyes on both sides. So anybody who you consider yourself at all centrist, moderate, reasonable, decent, whatever, fucking speak out. If somebody tries to shut you up, do not let them, because who knows how much longer you're going to be able to exercise that freedom. And that's all I gotta say. So if this resonated with you, go ahead and share it with everybody you know, because it's important. If I offended you, awesome. If not, subscribe to my channel. I will always try harder next time.